Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So recently I was watching one of my absolute favorite YouTubers, Wayne Goss, aka GossMakeupArtist. For those of you guys that do watch him, all you guys know he's absolutely fabulous. He just recently did a video about doing the Kim Kardashian concealer look. He pretty much hit the nail on the head with the technique, with the products he used. I thought it was absolutely fabulous. So I wanted to show you guys a way to achieve that look on darker women like me. So I always have to find a way to literally translate it to my complexion. For those of you guys that kind of like that full coverage, full glamour look, this is definitely not your everyday makeup tutorial. Two different types of concealers. The ones that I'm going to be using in this video are the MAC Studio Finish, and the reason why I'm using this one is you're going to need something that's got like a full coverage. If not a full coverage, something that's kind of thick, kind of heavy. On top of that, I'm going to use the MAC Select Cover Up. This coverage is medium and it's got kind of like a little bit of that airbrush look. So I've got that one. Both of these are in NW40. Both of them are a little bit lighter than my complexion. You're going to need a translucent setting powder. I'm using the one by Laura Mercier. She has several of them. This one is called the translucent loose setting powder, and the difference between this one and the other ones is this one is off-white. I like to use something that's got a little bit of color to it versus the traditional white. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just find that you get that same similar effect when you use something that's got a little bit, it's yellow off-white. You're going to need a foundation brush. You're also going to need a beauty blender sponge and Fix Plus or like rose water or anything that you can use to dampen your sponges. And you're also going to need a few latex sponges. So with that being said, I'm going to show you guys how I got the look. So first step is going to be to start off with your full coverage concealer. I'm going to use the MAC Studio Finish Concealer. I'm actually going to take that with my finger and really apply this quite generously under the eye. From inner all the way down to the corner of my nostril and then all the way up along the cheekbone. Notice how far back I'm going. I'm almost kind of blending that into the hairline. So same for this side, starting from the inner corner all the way down to my nostril and then working my way up along my cheekbone. And already you see how my eyes lifted, and that is because I took the concealer and kind of traced along underneath where the eyeshadow is and created an effect of like a lifted cat eye. On top of that, I'm going to take my MAC Select Cover Up Concealer. It's still a little bit lighter than my skin tone, and I'm going to apply that somewhat generously but not too much. I use the word generously loosely. Just apply that basically same exact way that we apply the full coverage concealer underneath, along the cheekbones, and then same on this side. And this is going to be a little bit of a heavier application than if you were to wear this like every day. It's definitely not for the natural makeup wearers. I'm also going to take that concealer along the bridge of my nose, all the way up into my forehead. And I'm also going to highlight over the top of my brow bone, basically just the center of the forehead in a crossbow motion. So right about now it's going to look a little unblended, but we're going to fix that. I'm going to take my beauty blender sponge and I'm going to wet it and blend that out. And you'll start to slowly see it like morph into your foundation. It won't look so harsh, it won't look so unblended. It's still going to look like a highlight, but it's going to start to all flow together the more that you blend. And I always use the sponge damp. I think it kind of loosens up the product a little bit better and helps you manipulate it a little bit more, actually a lot more, as opposed to using it dry. And for now, I think that's okay. I'm going to set that with setting powder. This is a pretty important step because the setting powder helps give you that highlight, that lit and illuminated look. So I'm using the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, and I like this one because instead of being white like a traditional translucent powder, it's actually got like an off-white tint. So it's definitely time for a new one, but kind of see how that's like off-white. I'm applying that powder with a latex sponge. You don't need a whole lot. You definitely want to pat the powder in. The patting is what's going to help literally set the concealer. If you don't conceal it, first of all, it's going to crease like crazy, especially if you have oily skin like me, and it's not going to last as long. So I'm patting that in, and I'm also taking that all the way up along my cheekbone. This is also going to help control oil and shine for those of you guys have combination skin or oily skin, because I get a little bit shiny like on my cheek area, pores here, and on my forehead. So what I'm also going to do is take a little bit of that along the center of my nose, the bridge of my nose I should say, and also into my forehead, because seriously, there's not a day where I see Kim K look greasy or oily or shiny. I don't know what her skin type is, but oh girl is flawless. And if you want that look, this is what you're gonna have to do. So now you've got this crazy Catwoman looking kind of thing going on, but we gonna fix that. I'm gonna take my foundation brush. You can also use a fluffy powder brush. This one is from e.l.f. I'm gonna go ahead and use that one, and then I'm going to start to blend all of that out and sweep it off gently. So a lot of that powder should be slowly starting to tone down. So Kim K always has like these popping cheekbone. I'm going to show you how I like to get the same effect. And since I'm a little bit on the darker side, I mean, I have to search high and low for great contouring products. They're just not out there. They just don't cut it. They just don't show up on my skin. They're like my skin tone color. Obviously the idea of contouring is to use something a little darker. Bought this Ben Nye foundation, and the color, it's their Mojave Matte HD. The color is Cocoa Souffle, and it's dark. And in order to really get that highlight stand out, I just take a little bit of that and contour underneath the low points of my cheekbones. Same on this side. And because we use such light colors here, this actually appears darker. It's kind of like an illusion. I'm also going to take a little bit of that along my temples, and I'm just gently patting it in. I'm using my beauty blender, and I'm going to also blend that out. I'm going to take my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. The color is Deep Dark. Favorite. I'm going to take this in a powder puff. Yes, I bet you didn't think you'd see someone use a powder puff these days, but I'm going to use it. I'm going to rock it. So I'm going to pat, 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 and start to press the powder onto my face. Kind of go around the concealer, but if I do put powder, I put very little, because all that's going to do is just make it blend in with the rest of your skin, and that defeats the whole purpose. But as far as the forehead goes, I will be adding a little bit of powder there. If you did this pretty properly, you should see somewhat of like a brightening kind of like right here. That doesn't really look natural. So we're gonna bring back again some of the colors to the face by adding blush. I'm gonna use a bronzer. I'm going to use the CoverGirl Queen Collection bronzer. This is the darkest one. I think the number is Q120. And start to contour. And I like to kind of do the W. So instead of just straight up and down, I'll do kind of like a curve. So already, do you see how much my cheekbones, like, I'm not doing anything. This is just my straight face. And it looks like my cheekbones are like, and I'm not even doing. All along the temples as well. Bring back some of that color to the face. My favorite in particular is Format by MAC. And this look would not be complete without adding cheekbone highlight. I'm going to use the I Am Glam by Giella, which is Mario Dedovanovic's product, who, you know, is the makeup artist to Kim K. So what better way to top off the look by using a product that she actually uses. So that is going to go along the high points of my cheekbones. Now I'm like in desperate need of lipstick, so I'm going to wear Angel by MAC, another one of Kim K's favorites. Hey! And that's it. Girl, see how easy that was. Thank you guys for watching.